Hi everyone, welcome to Coloring with Lori. Thought I would do some more work on this pineapple in Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford with Polychromos pencils. We started on this doing a couple of the leaves up here using, oh sorry I hit the camera, the 3 greens, permanent green olive, juniper green, and May green. This leaf down here I started, and I am adding brown ochre because it's closer to the top of the pineapple, so we get a little brown in there. How is everybody doing today? I hope you are all doing well. I already put a little bit of the juniper green down in the bottom of the leaf. Work that in here. So tomorrow night I'm going to do a live, which is Friday at midnight Eastern time. I will probably work on this picture. So I'm going to add a little bit of the brown ochre in here. Not as much on this leaf as I did this bottom leaf because it's not as close to the core of the coconut. But I just want to get a little bit more in there. So we will work, I think if on a live tomorrow, we'll work probably on the furniture and things. If not in this book, I will also work on the, if I haven't completed the Kirby Rosannas or Rosannas, we'll work in there. I also want to get working in Teresa Goodrich Afternoon Tea, which I really would like to start a series in her books on my channel. Again, if you're interested in that, please leave me comments below. I have had a couple people comment, and the book that we're going to focus on first is Afternoon Tea. And what I'm thinking that I will do in the live tomorrow night is pick 3 pages and then ask the viewers to pick from the 3 pages which one they would like me to color. So, at the moment right now on the channel, we will be focusing on this page. Obviously the pineapple in Rooms of Wonder from Johanna Basford's, and also focus on the Teresa Goodrich series of color alongs. That's something I really want to do here on this channel. I think that a lot of channels don't do much work in Teresa Goodrich, and if they do, they say that the paper is bad. It's not a great paper, but it definitely is workable. You can use pencils on it, you can use watercolor on it, you can use alcohol markers on it, watercolor markers on it. So I don't find it anywhere near in comparison to Amazon paper. So I'm kind of far away from my image at this time, hoping to give you a better angle and keep this in frame. So if I need to do some tightening up on this leaf off camera, I will. But I want to kind of show you to get into the browns. And again, you know, using these Polychromos pencils, they are a layering pencil. So we're going to do some light layers of our first green color here. And I want to add a little bit of that brown to it, that brown ochre. So I'm going to lay that in here real light right here. Put a little coat of that. Polychromos greens are kind of earthy. There are some bright greens, of course, but the ones that I grabbed are kind of earthy ones, other than this permanent green olive, which olive can tend to be earthy, but I find their green olive is one of their dark greens, so, but it does work with the brown. I don't know if it's orange ochre, however, but I say brown ochre. So we're going to blend that out with the permanent green olive and the brown ochre. I'm going to put a little bit more of that brown ochre in here because I do want to make sure that the brown color is standing out down here by the stem of the pineapple. And then as we go up in here, more of this type green would be prominent throughout the leaf. I'm going to use some of the juniper green. Very, very light. Oh, Pebbles just jumped on my lap and made me go out of lines. Hi, Pebbles. What's up, babies? No, 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 no. Oh, oh my God, what the heck is that? Oh, my sleeve was wet from washing dishes and I got my book wet. That is horrible. Oh, and look at that. That ink bled through from that picture onto the other pages. Oh, all right. Well, deal with that on another day. But I do need, this will probably be okay because the pineapple core does have some brown and deep greens in it. I'm going to stick some paper towel on here so that ink doesn't continue to bleed through. That's interesting. I'm going to have to be careful if I do that page what kind of backgrounds I use on there. See, I didn't even realize my arm was wet. Alright, I'm gonna again go in here with this brown ochre. Deepen that up with some brown some more. So what are your favorite pencils to work with? The Polychromos definitely take some work. So if you're impatient and a slow colorist, this is my opinion too, but for me, in order to get the results that I want, the Polychromos are a very slow going pencil. I don't like, you know, white to show through my paper. I like a nice smooth blend. So I continue to blend my colors until I get the results that I like, which does seem to take a lot of blending. I don't use anything to blend my pencils other than pencils, occasionally a blender. I will, if I create a wax bloom by blending my pencils or the oil-based pencils, create a shine, I will use paper towel to kind of rub that off like a burnishing nib. I don't know what those are called when it's like a cotton. I think it's a burnisher. But I've seen burnishers that aren't made out of cotton, so I'm not quite sure the names of those those tools. I don't use them. I just, like I said, pretty much blend out my pencils with pencils. Sometimes I will use the Prismacolor blender. I do have the Luminance full blenders. Oh, I do have one down here like this, which is actually more effective with the oil-based pencils. But the only thing I really feel like this does is create a sheen and a shine, and it could possibly add to the light fastness as, you know, it's leaving coating on your pages. So you would just kind of blend it like that. But even though I do use those, I also go over that with the paper towel. And I don't know what made me start doing this. I guess because I didn't like when the wax bloom was on there, you could see the different angles of the pencils and the pencil lines. And if you take the paper towel and wipe that off, that gets rid of your pencil lines and the wax bloom or oil bloom. All pencils have wax and oil. I think actually the Pablos have a type of clay in them. They are a particularly hard pencil. So I do have a little bit, back to the picture, I do have a little bit of the brown ochre in this leaf here, which I think I'm going to give just a little bit in there to make, and this one, to make these leaves a little bit browner than the other ones, but not as brown as the ones that are attached to the pineapple. And then we're going to go back in with our juniper. Really light coat. And then the green olive permanent. So I think this will be a good combination. And as I go up the leaves, I will probably leave more of a lighter on the sides, you know, to brighten it up as it's going up, because as you're closer to the pineapple, that's where you want your darker leaves and a little bit of the brown. Kind of the ripeness of the pineapple. And if anyone that's watching is familiar with the Polychromos pencils for the furniture in here, I'm thinking with the green and the brown, like they're was kind of thinking a red violet for the chair, or if I wanted to go a deeper route, like the, I don't know how these things are actually pronounced, caput mortem, terracotta, sanguine. I really do like those colors when it comes to furniture. See, and this is what I was saying, when I get in these upper leaves, I'm probably gonna add some yellow so we get some brightness in those leaves there. When I color, I usually have my head like right on my page to see how my blending's going, and I'm pretty far away from my page right now, so if I see something that's not blending real well, I will definitely go back in and correct. I'm kind of a perfectionist with that. If you've watched many people or listened to people talk about polychromos, you can just layer and layer and layer to get that blend that you want. As long as the paper allows, they will continue to layer. So that is definitely the trick to polychromos. You cannot rush them. You cannot press hard and push them in the paper unless you're doing papers that you know you're not going to get layers out of, but you're not going to have a smooth blend. And I have said in videos before, you know, everybody's coloring style is beautiful to me. We all color a little bit different. I don't like white space on paper. If I'm going to do something to leave white space, I'm probably going to add it. And I don't do much of that either. I don't really use Poscas and white highlighters to put that stuff on flowers, and kind of a realist with my coloring. So as beautiful as I think that all is, it's not something that I particularly do. I struggle with trying to make my pictures look real, and I love pictures when I look at them and there's blue leaves, and I struggle with that. So I'm just going to work on these leaves, or I guess it's leaves, the top of the pineapple. This will probably be the last one that I put any brown in. I may put a hinge of it in there. And these other ones, as I said, as I go up, I will brighten them up. On camera, I will probably do, you know, the top of the outside of the pineapple and do a little bit of the mid-range so you can see the different color tones that I will use. And the pencils that I use. I don't have a problem telling you the pencil colors. I'm going to try to stick to the Polychromos in this picture, as it was a request from 2 viewers, which I appreciate the requests. The next picture, well, it wasn't a picture, but the next request was to work in Creative Haven's Teresa Goodrich Afternoon Tea. So that will be something that we will work on, and I'm pretty excited about that because I do want to do a Teresa Goodrich series. I don't think she's recognized enough in the coloring community. The people that like her really like her, and they do recognize her, but because of the paper, you don't see her a lot on here. It's difficult paper to work on, but it's not, as I talked about earlier in the video, it's not the worst. Oh, okay, Pebbles. Alright, I'm going to stop the video because Pebbles, this is kind of her, she's a snuggle doggy at this time of night. She actually may have to go outside too, but I will just continue to go in with these pencils. Again, the colors are cadmium yellow, May green, probably my favorite green. Permanent green olive, juniper green, and brown ochre. The brown ochre, here, we'll do it right here. This is probably all you're gonna see of the brown ochre, is just a little bit right there. Very, very little. And as I go up, these are gonna lighten up. So I will continue this leaf is not done. I will continue to work on this one until I get it to where I'd like it. Get a smooth blend. She might have went and laid over there. If you hear any background noise, I'm sorry. Mike is sleeping, snoring, and watching TV. But, so you can kind of see the direction. I am an extremely slow colorist, so I'm not going to bore you with coloring all these leaves on camera. But I will try my best to do, you know, enough of this where you'll know what colors I'm using, the chair, and show you how I blend and work the Polychromos. If, for the people who requested for me to use the Polychromos and continue this picture because they were going to follow along and wanted ideas, if there is something particular that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. And again, I appreciate you all for watching, and thank you. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and give me a like below if you liked the video. If you're new, thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's a new adventure on YouTube for me, and hopefully we can enjoy the venture together. But everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you again for spending this time with me, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.